You ever watch a fight and just know something big is about to happen? Like that tension in the air where two fighters walk in, same country, same grit, but totally different weapons. That's exactly what's about to go down when Ketlen Vieira meets Norma Dumont. Two Brazilian warriors, one built T-bar to break you on the ground, the other designed to pick you apart on the feet. It's grappler versus striker, but not the old school version, man. This one's different. This is two evolved tactical killers colliding at the peak of their game. But here's the real question: can Vieira drag Dumont into her world and dominate with that brutal top control? Or will Dumont's calm surgical striking keep her one step ahead all night long? Who's got the better fight IQ? Who's hungrier? Who wants it more when that cage door shuts? Because this fight isn't just about technique, it's about mindset, moment NBR and who breaks first under real pressure. And trust me, one of them will break. So stick around. We're breaking down everything you need to know: the backstory, the fight styles, the weaknesses, and of course, the ultimate prediction: who's walking out with the win. You know what's crazy about this matchup, man? Both these women, Ketlen Vieira and Norma Dumont, they've had such different roads to get here, but both of them are pure examples of that Brazilian fighting spirit. Like, you can feel that hunger when they step into the octagon. Ketlen Vieira, bro, she's been in the game for a while. Started out as this quiet killer from Manaus, Brazil, a legit black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and judo. She came into the UFC with that classic grappler energy: takedown, control, smother, and just make you wish you never stood across from her. Early in her career, she was running through Barney Epel, climbing the bantamweight ranks, beating names like Kat Zingano and Sarah McMahon. And people were like, yo, this girl might be the next big problem in the division. But MMA is wild, man. It humbles everyone. She took some tough losses, had a few injuries, but she never stopped evolving. The cool part about her story: every time you think she's slowing down, she tweaks something, comes back sharper, meaner, and smarter. Now on the other side, Norma Dumont, totally different vibe. She's not that typical wild brawler. She's patient, composed, tactical, started in capoeira and boxing before moving into MMA. And you can see that in her style. She fights smart. She's not chasing chaos, she creates control. She came into the UFC featherweight division when it was kind of thin, but she made it interesting. Remember that Aspen Ladd fight? She just picked her apart with precision TRN round after round. Dumont doesn't rely on power shots, she wins the mental game. She's one of those fighters who makes her opponents uncomfortable without even doing anything crazy, just good movement, timing, and composure. So now we've got Vieira, the grappling monster, against Dumont, the technical striker who thrives under pressure. Two very different. ENT paths, same destination. Both representing Brazil, both fighting to prove who's the queen of this next chapter. And that's what makes this matchup so damn fascinating. It's not just a fight, it's two stories colliding. All right, man, Lay Bard and TS talk about fighting styles, because this matchup between Ketlen Vieira and Norma Dumont is one of those chess versus chaos kind of fights. You've got two completely different philosophies colliding inside that cage, and that's what makes it so damn interesting. Ketlen Vieira is the kind of fight, butting our hole, drag you into her world whether you like it or not. She's got that classic Brazilian grappler energy. When she gets a hold of you, it's like you're stuck in quicksand. Her top control is insane. She doesn't just take you down, she melts on top of you. She's got that judo base too, so her T-bar rows come out of nowhere. 1 second you're clinched, next second you're on your back wondering what the hell just happened. And it's not flashy, it's efficient. That's what I love about her. She doesn't need to be wild, she just suffocates you with fundamentals. Her ground game is where she ain't enes. But what people sleep on is her composure. She's patient. She's not going to gas herself out chasing submissions. She'll grind you down, test your will, and make you break before she ever does. It's very old school, reminds me of that early 2000s Brazilian style where everything's about control and precision. Now Norma Dumont, completely different beast. She's not trying to roll around on the mat with you. She wants to pick you apart on the feet. Her striking is so clean, man. Technically sound, tight guard, great use of range. She's not a knockout artist, but her timing, it's beautiful. She throws when it counts. You can see the boxing influence right away. Sharp jab, nice counters, doesn't waste energy. What makes Dumont dangerous is how calm she is in chaos. Like, you can be swinging, heavy leather, and she's just standing there, reading you, making adjustments mid-fight. That CO burner composure is rare. A lot of fighters panic when they get pressured, but she thrives there. And her takedown defense has gotten better every fight. She's clearly putting in the work because she knows people are going to try to wrestle her. So you've got Vieira, who wants to take you down and drown you. Versus Dumont, who wants to stand tall, control the distance, and outthink you. It's grappler versus striker, the oldest story in MMA, but both of these women are evolved versions of that archetype. Whoever imposes their style first, that's the one walking out with the win. You know what's interesting? Man, every time you talk about what makes a fighter great, you got to talk about what breaks them too, because that's what defines their ceiling. No matter how strong, technical, or disciplined someone is, there's always that one crack in the armor. And for both Ketlen Vieira and Norma Dumont, those cracks tell a story. For Ketlen, the biggest thing has always been that transition game. She's incredible once she gets you down, no question, but getting there. That's where things sometimes fall apart. If she can't close the distance or struggles against someone with good footwork, she can start looking a little bit one-dimensional. She's got that heavy grappling style, and when it works, it looks dominant. But when it doesn't, it can look slow. Fighters who stay light on their feet keep her guessing with feints. They frustrate her. And when she gets frustrated, she tends to hesitate. That Burchen is dangerous at this level. She is also not known for huge power on the feet. Her striking is solid, not sloppy at all, but it's not the kind that's going to scare someone like Dumont into backing off. And that's where she gets stuck in those awkward exchanges where she's halfway between grappling and striking, not fully committing to either. That limbo is where she's been caught before. And in MMA, that half second of hesitation, that's death, man. Now on the other side, Norma Dumont, her weakness is almost the mirror image of Vieira's. She's a brilliant striker, but she doesn't always pull the trigger. You can see it sometimes. She'll read the opponent perfectly. She'll have the opening, but she doesn't capitalize. She's calculated to a fault. That patience that makes her dangerous can also cost her rounds. Judges don't score almosts. And let's be honest, she's not known for finishing fights either. Most of her wins come by decision, which means if the fight turns into a grind and Vieira manages to get her against the cage or on the mat, Dumont could be in deep water. Her ground defense has improved, sure, but Ketlen's control is a different monster. So when you look at these TW and an AO, it's this perfect paradox. Vieira struggles to get where she's best, and Dumont struggles to end things where she's best. It's like a mental and physical chess match where both women have the tools to win, but also the tendencies to lose. And that's what makes the momentum part, the next piece of this puzzle, so damn crucial. Because how they've been performing lately tells you exactly who's peaking and who might crack first. Yeah, and that's the thing, man, momentum in MMA is everything. It's not just about skill, it's about where your head's at, what kind of energy you're carrying into one BRers and that cage. You can have all the tools in the world, but if your confidence is off by even a hair, the whole thing unravels. And when you look at Ketlen Vieira and Norma Dumont right now, they're both coming in from totally different emotional zones. Ketlen's been through that storm. You can feel I'm Danny BRT in her fights. She's had those big highs, like the wins over Miesha Tate and Holly Holm, where she looked like the future of the division. But then she had those frustrating nights, the kind where nothing clicks, where her takedowns get stuffed and she's stuck in a striking match she didn't plan for. Yet what's wild is, every time people start counting her out, she bounces back. That's veteran mindset right there. She's not fighting desperate anymore, she's fighting smarter. You can tell she's been studying, adapting, fine-tuning. It's less about emotion now and more about execution. That's dangerous, because a composed Ketlen Vieira is a problem for anyone. And Dumont, man, she's on this quiet roll. People don't talk about it enough because her fights aren't always flashy, but she's been winning. That consistency matters. You can tell she's building confidence every time she steps in there. Says one of those fighters who's starting to really understand who she is, and that's when fighters become scary. The moment they stop trying to prove something and start just performing. What's interesting, though, is how different their energy feels. Vieira has this intensity, like she's still chasing something, maybe redemption, maybe the title picture. Dumont, on the other hand, she's got this calm, steady focus. She's not chasing chaos, she's settling into her rhythm. That's what makes this matchup so fascinating. It's not just skill versus skill, it's momentum versus momentum. And some in Tibor times, that's what decides a fight. The fighter who's peaking at the right time doesn't have to be the more talented one. They just have to be the one who believes more in that moment. Vieira's got the fire, Dumont's got the flow, and when those two collide, one of them's going to walk out on a whole new level. And that brings it perfectly to the last piece, prediction. Because once you line up the styles, the flaws, and the momentum, it all comes down to one question: who imposes their will first? Man, this is where it gets really interesting, because when you start lining everything up, the styles, the weaknesses, the momentum, it becomes less about who's better and more about who's built for this specific fight. And that's the beauty of MMA, right? Styles make fights. And in this one, you've got two completely different roads converging in the same cage. If this fight stays standing in a GRG, Norma Dumont has the edge, no question. Her timing, her distance management, the way she controls pace, it's just clean. She doesn't rush, she doesn't panic. She has that sniper type, always waiting for the perfect window. Vieira's got decent hands, sure, but Dumont's striking is on another level, technically. The way she slides out of range, counter jabs, resets the rhythm, it frustrates opponents. And that frustration opens doors. That's where Dumont eats people alive, not with power, but with patience. But if this thing hits the mat, different story entirely. Ketlen Vieira turns into a different animal down there. She's so heavy from top. Position, man, like gravity itself is working for her. She knows how to use her weight, how to shift, how to trap an arm, how to keep you stuck. Dumont's defensive grappling is improving, but she hasn't been in there with too many high-level glow-in-o-un-sin-o-un specialists like Ketlen. And if Vieira gets a takedown early, that might change the entire rhythm of the fight. Once she's in control, she'll slow everything down, make it ugly, and just drown Dumont round after round. So it's a question of who company controls the geography of the fight. If it's fought in the center, on the feet, Dumont's world. If it's fought against the cage or on the canvas, Vieira's home turf. That's the chess match we're about to see. Now, prediction-wise, if him being real, Dumont's composure and momentum might give her a slight edge. She's been consistent. She's sharp, SHRS in that mental pocket right now. Vieira can absolutely win if she imposes her grappling early, but she can't afford to play catch-up. Dumont's too disciplined for that. So yeah, ID leans slightly toward Norma Dumont by decision, a tactical, patient fight where she neutralizes Vieira's ground to bar near reach and wins the exchanges on the feet. But make no mistake, this isn't going to be a blowout. It's going to be one of those fights where one mistake decides everything. And that's what makes it so exciting, man. Two elite Brazilians, same roots, totally different styles meeting right in the middle of their prime. That's MMA poetry right there. And that's the beauty of this fight. Man, it's not just another matchup. It's a story about two warriors who took completely different paths, but ended up in the same cage, chasing the same dream. You've got Ketlen Vieira, the grappling powerhouse who won Andartia TS to pull you into deep waters, and Norma Dumont, the technical striker who thrives in that calm, surgical chaos. Both are fighting for more than just a win. They are fighting for legacy, for respect, for that next step toward greatness. No matter how this one goes down, it's going to tell us something and real about where women's MMA is headed. The evolution, the mindset, the grind. These aren't fighters who just show up for a paycheck. They show up to test their soul. And that's why we love this sport, right? It's unpredictable, it's raw, it's human. If you're a real fight fan, you can feel the tension in this one. You can feel that something big might happen, maybe a breakthrough moment for Dumont, maybe a comeback statement from Vieira. Either way, it's one of those fights that reminds you why we tune in every single weekend. So hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, if you vibe with this kind of deep dive fight talk, hit that like button, man.